Hi there, for today's Read Aloud, we are going to be reading the story Handmade. Before we begin reading, I would like for us to go over the genre study, set a purpose, and go over some vocabulary words we might come across in this story. So, the genre study. This is a procedural text. Do you remember us going over procedural text earlier? Good. Procedural texts tell how to do or make something. What I would like for you to do is look for directions to follow, steps that show order, pictures that show what the final project will look like. So, setting a purpose. We are going to read so we can understand the most important ideas. We're going to look for details in the words and pictures to help us, right? And next thing is our vocabulary words we might come across in this book. The first one is edges. Can you say the word edges? Excellent.
Edges. The edges of something are the places where it ends. The two teams stood along the edges of the field.
Edges. Trace. Can you say the word trace? Excellent.
Trace. To trace something, you draw a line around the outside of it. Trace around your hand to make a picture of your hand.
Trace. All right. So one more time. This story, Handmade, is a procedural text. It tells how to do or make something. So we're going to be paying attention for that, okay? Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Okay, we're going to listen to this little audio. It says, listen to the audio to find out about recycling to make art.
You don't need fancy materials to make great art. You can use recycled materials. When you recycle something, you use it again instead of throwing it away. Paper, cardboard boxes, egg cartons, milk cartons, and plastic water bottles are just a few of the things you can recycle. Use your imagination to turn something old into something new. You'll have great art, and you will help the earth.
That was a fun little audio. Let's keep going. All right, so this story is called Handmade by Guadalupe Rodriguez. Before we begin reading, let's go ahead and use the title Handmade and the cover to make the best possible prediction that we can. All right, let's go ahead and get started on our read aloud. Handmade. Landscaped with an animal. Here's number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. All right, so we're going to go in order. Number 1, on thick paper, draw a curved line, color one part of the color of the sky, color the other one like grass or the ocean. So that's number 1. Number 2, it says, put together the two parts by gluing only the ends. The center part stays open. Number 3, get another piece of thick paper, draw and color an animal, then cut it out. Cut a strip of thick paper, glue the end of the strip to the back of the animal. Let it dry. Here's a little example. Number 4, then put the strip through the open part of the landscape. Attach it with a paper fastener. Make your animal walk along the landscape by moving the strip back and forth. I'm going to let you think about this. Think about this, what I just read. What do you think this is? Okay. What do the illustrations show? So what do these illustrations by each number show? What to do at each step. So on step 1, you're going to cut the paper and color. Okay. Step 2, you're going to go ahead and glue. Step 3, you're going to glue the little animal to the back. And then step 4, you finish up your little landscape with an animal project. Okay, so that's how to do landscape with an animal. So give me a thumbs up. Do we have to follow these steps in order? Thumbs up or down? Yes, this is definitely something we have to follow in order. Okay, let me get myself out of the way. Flying fish. All right, so here's 1, 2, 3. What I would like for you to do on this page is go ahead and look at the illustrations, listen to the words, and pay attention as I go through 1, 2, and 3, okay? So, number 1, on a large sheet of paper, draw 2 lines like in the picture. Cut. Step 2. I'm going to say step 2. Color the eyes and the body. Glue the edges together. Here's the example. Step 3. Tie a string to both sides of the mouth to make a loop. Tie on a long string to pull. Glue on strips of paper to make the tail. So this is a how-to, right? This is how to make a flying fish. And we talked about how how-tos are examples of procedural text. Really cool. So we have to follow these in order to make our flying fish correctly. So step 1, step 2, and step 3. All right, paper birds. Step 1, use a plate to trace a circle on paper. Cut the circle and then fold it in half. Okay, go ahead and look at the little image. Step 2, draw and cut feathers and a beak out of tissue paper. Glue them on, then draw an eye on each side of the paper. Get 2 wooden sticks for the legs, glue them on. Step 3, use thread or yarn to hang up the bird and it'll be ready to fly. So this is how to what? Make a paper bird, right? So let's go ahead and talk real quick. What were the 3 different things that you learned just got instructions on how to make? Give you a moment to try to think back. Okay, landscape with an animal. Then there was flying fish, and then paper birds. Now I would like for you to take a moment and think, why is it important that we follow each step in order? Why can't if we're making paper birds together, why is it important that we have step 1, step 2, and step 3? Why can't we just do this step, use thread or yarn to hang up the bird and it'll be ready to fly? Why can't I just tell you step 3 first? And can I tell you out of order? Give you a moment to think about that answer. Okay, so my question is, why do I have to tell you the steps in order? Why can't I just tell you step 2 or step 3 first? Why do I have to tell you in order? Can I tell you out of order? No, if I were to tell you these steps out of order, then do you think your paper birds would be ready to fly? No, they wouldn't be. Your paper birds probably wouldn't come out looking like this, and you would be probably a little confused on what to do, right? So that's why procedural texts are important to follow in order, right? They tell you step 1, step 2, step 3, or first, next, then, for a reason. And what is that reason? So whatever you're making or whatever you're doing comes out correct, right? All right, so I'd like for you to give me a thumbs up. I'm going to go back to our genre study and give me a thumbs up for yes or a thumbs down for no. Okay, so was Handmade an example of procedural text? Yes, it was, okay? It was because we learned how to make 3 different projects, right? Okay, now I'm going to read a couple other things. Give me a thumbs up for yes, thumbs down for no. Were there directions to follow for each project? There was. For example, 1, 2, and 3. There's little illustrations by each number, wasn't there? Yes. Okay, were there steps that show order? Like this? There was. Good job. Were there pictures that show what the final project will look like? So, for example, we have step 1 with a picture, step 2 with a picture, and step 3 with a picture. But was there a final picture of what the project should look like? Let's see. Paper birds. This is the final project, so it's true for paper birds. flying fish right here. The little boy is has his final project. So yes, for flying fish. And then this is the final final picture of what the project should look like. So yes. All right. And one more thing. If your prediction came true on what you thought the story was going to be about, give it a thumbs up. And if it didn't, that's all right. No problem. All right. Well, I hope you liked our little read aloud. Handmade by Guadalupe Rodriguez.